Okay, now that we've built the IDs for our meshed object, what we need to do now is build the materials that will fit into these IDs. How we go about doing that is we open our materials editor, like so. Just pick a blank part of the palette, just give it a name. I'm just going to call it like so. Then what we need to do is set it to a different type of material. From standard, we need to set it to multi-sub object. So I give that as the type of material. Now what it's asking us here is, are we going to keep the original material as part of the new multi-sub object? And in this case, no, we're not going to keep it. Okay, first thing you'll notice is that the command part of the materials editor changes drastically, and we've got little lines referring to ID1 material whatever. There is no material set here, and it goes from ID1 all the way through to ID10. We only have two IDs to worry about, 1 and 3, so what I'm going to do is just set my number of materials down to 2. So now I have two IDs. I'm going to set the second one here to ID 3 and set the first one to ID 1. Now what we need to do is to build a material to associate to ID 1. So we click on the material part of that, and you can see here I can select the material part, and there you see we get the standard material command palette, and from here we can build basically any material we like. So for ID 1 I'm going to make a red material, and I'm going to make it a slightly dirty red, like so. Now what I need to do is, because I want ID1, this material, to be bumpy in some way, I'm going to set a bump map, and I'm going to build it from, let's just say, a cellular pattern. So there you can see that ID1 is bumpy and it's red. So if I just go back to the parent, which will take me back to my base material, and if I go up one more parent, it will actually take me back to the multi-sub object. What I need to do now is to build a material for ID 3. So again, I click on the material button, I then go off and build a material. I'm going to build a terracotta-like material, like so. And again, I want this material to also be bumpy, so I go down to Maps, Bump, select Bump, but this time I want the bump to be larger. I want it to be like a noise, a very large bump. So there we can see the overall pattern of the bumpiness there. But what I want to do is I want to make the bump a little bit smaller, so I'm going to set the size down to 15 on my noise. I then go up to my parent for the bump, which will bring me back to my material 1. I then go up one more, and that will bring me back to my multi-sub object. Now all I need to do is apply my multi-sub object material to my mesh, which has object IDs. So I do that, and there we can see in my perspective view roughly what's happening. So now if I give that a quick render, we will see that I have a very basic looking material. Now in this case, the noise is too large and too bumpy, and I'll need to do a little bit more work on that. 1 through setting the amount of bump, and 2 through adjusting the size of the noise. And both of those can be reached through here. The amount of bump, which is at 30%, I could bring that down and make it less bumpy. And I could then go and modify the size of the noise, say 5. And 15. And then I go back up to my parent object and give that a quick render. So what I'd like you to do is go off and play with those materials until you get something that you want to use.